Hello everyone and welcome to more math help. I recently made an 8.3 video about multiplying binomials together. Unfortunately, it didn't contain binomials times trinomials. Shame. Oh well. Now we're going to talk about, I didn't have the front screen here with the title up in the center, but whatever. Multiplying polynomials special products. As in, there's some special situations you might see, and I want you to know what to do. So let's talk about this first kind. The first kind is when you have a singular parenthesis being squared. What you're used to probably is seeing two sets of parentheses with some stuff to distribute or make a little box out of. On this one, if it's a singular thing squared, y to the negative 4 squared literally means y to the negative 4. Y minus 4 squared means y minus 4 times y minus 4. You literally just write it out twice. That's all a squared means, is something times itself, so that this is something times itself. So now this is just like a problem we've seen in the past. So you can do your normal distribute or make a box. I prefer foiling personally. So I get y squared minus 4y from doing y times negative 4. I get another negative 4y from doing the middles, and then the last make positive 16. And my result is y squared minus 8y plus 16. Now, you are welcome to always do these problems that way. I'm going to type the problem in like that and show you that that's the right answer. But there is a way to do this a little bit quicker. And that's if you see it's a special case that you can skip a little bit of stuff. So let me show you what I'm talking about on this one. Let's see. Delete. All right, so u plus 3 squared. So what I mean to say is this. There's a quick way. U plus 3 squared. So the quick way is to do the first thing squared. So u times u is u squared. The last thing squared. 3 times 3 is positive 9. And then the middle term is tricky. You're going to do 3 times u and double it. So 3 times u is 3u, and doubling that gives me 6u. Now you notice I didn't write any of the work I did like on the last problem. So I instantly got 6u in the middle there and 9 at the end and u squared in the front. I said that all in some kind of wacky order here. But that works. Now, if you're like, man, I really need to see more of what you're talking about, give me a quick second because I made a big boo-boo here. Hold on. Back out, back in, this way, that way. This thing, student view. Give me a second. I realized while doing the assignment just now that it has, whoops, not this thing. I need to do this thing. It had 7 questions. There we go. Now it has 10 questions. Fantastic. So, spoiler alert, my first hour I accidentally gave you guys 7 questions. If you're in my other classes, 8, 9, and 10 are also on here. Sorry, first hour got it a little easier. So let me show you let me just show you 2 more quick problems and hopefully you'll get the gist of it here, okay? So the first thing is we're going to do, I'll just write it down, x minus 6 squared. I'm trying to show you the fast way here. So fast way is this. First guy, squared. Last guy, squared. Notice it becomes positive 36. Middle guy, negative 6 times x, but double. So negative 6 doubled is negative 12x. There's your answer, just like that. Now, if you are somebody who cannot see that it's a special case, or you're not sure it's a special case, you're welcome to do it and write it out twice, and then all that kind of good stuff. I am just going to write this out real quick. Honestly, almost the same question as I had a second ago. All right, we're just going to go to number 3, because number 3 was where I was at. All right, before I so rudely interrupted myself. So here, I will attempt to type it directly into the box so you can understand what I'm talking about. I have y minus 2 squared, so I know it's going to start with a y squared. And I know it's going to end with a plus 4. But before I get to the end thing, let's write the middle term. The middle term is y times negative 2 but doubled. So y times negative 2 is negative 2y, negative 4y. And then the last term is negative 2 squared, which is positive 4. Yes, I'm doing it without work. I mean, that's the goal. That's why it's called special products, because it's like, do you see it's a special case, and how do you get it? So like on this one, I say, oh, that's one singular thing squared. So y squared goes first. 5 times y, which is 5y, doubled makes 10y. That's the middle term. And then the last term is 5 squared, which is positive 25. So if you see that, you can do it fast. Let's keep it going. Now we got double letters. Now double letters seem a little more confusing, but it's still quite possible to do. So this would be 3v times 3v, 9v squared. The middle one's the tricky. 3v times negative 4 is negative 12. You double that to get negative 24. uv or vu, I'll write uv. And then last up is negative 4u times negative 4u, which is positive 16u squared. So again, the process was this. The first term, square the whole thing, including the number. At the end should contain the last term, squared, including the fact that it's negative, but a negative square makes a positive. And the middle term is what you get when you multiply these two together and then double it. You have to double it. The reason why you double it is because if you were making a box or foiling, there'd be four parts, right? So 9v squared would be 1, 16, wait, this is backwards. 9v squared would be 1, 16u squared would be the other, and in the middle, these two middle terms would be two of the same thing that add up to make 24. I hope that makes any kind of sense. I am so sorry. And so much I can show by flapping my hand in front of the camera. All right, 9v plus 2y squared. So 9v times 9v is 81v squared. That's the first term. The middle term is 9v times 2y. That's 18vy. You would have to double that, though. So when you double 18, you get 36vy. And then last up is 2y times 2y, which is 4y squared. The goal is you can hopefully see this and do it fast. I mean, I hope you can. 3y times 3y is 9y squared. 3y times negative 8, w is negative 24, but we double that and get negative 48. wy or yw, I guess. And then last up is negative 8 times negative 8, which is positive 64 w squared. So if you were in my first hour class and just watched this video, hooray, you finished your assignment. I sadly forgot to add this in the first hour, and it was after the fact I couldn't change it, but for 8, 9, and 10, there's a new situation going on. It's not one thing squared, and it doesn't follow the same rule with the first thing squared, double the product, and then the last thing squared. This one instead is called conjugates. And let's say you didn't notice it was a conjugate, and you're just like, all right, I'm going to work this out. First of all, it sucks that this is b's and 6's because they kind of look like the same stuff. But if I were to do it normally, like this was always an option on everything we've done so far, b times b is b squared, b times negative 6 is negative 6b, 6 times b is 6b, and 6 times negative 6 is negative 36. Now when you combine these like terms in the middle though, negative 6b and positive 6b cancel out. So you get b squared minus 36. So the trick to these is that when you have conjugates, which are the same things in the parentheses, but one's a plus and one's a minus, the result is the middle term doesn't exist. You'll only get the first thing squared, b times b, and the last things together, 6 times negative 6. And that's it. So I'll try and show you that concept here. So I'd look at the problem and I'd say, oh, look, it's the same thing, but different signs, right? So the answer only has two parts. The first times the first, u squared, and the last times the last, negative 16. Normally, you're not supposed to do first times first and last times last. You're supposed to do like what I drew over here, 4 unique operations and the middle stuff and all that, right? But when it's this specific case, the plus and the minus of the same exact terms, the middle stuff would have canceled out. So you can skip doing the middle stuff because it would have just canceled out anyways. This last one should have 2 letters, yes. So I say, oh, look, 9z and 4x, but they're the same, but one's a plus and one's a minus. So what I want to do is 9z times 9z is 81z squared. Negative 4 times positive 4 is negative 16x squared. And you'll notice on all 3 answers I just got, and always, the rule will be that the first term is its thing and the second term is a negative. So it'll be something minus something. Something squared minus something squared. It doesn't have to have exponents on them necessarily, like this one didn't. It was just a number. But if there's any variable, it'll probably be squared. Unless it's already squared, then it'll probably become even bigger. There we go. That's a pretty quick assignment. Let's review real quick. So, report. So for assignment, the assignment here, 1 through 7 was all the same thing. Adding and subtracting something, like a single parenthesis, but it was being squared, which meant you could either write it out twice, like I showed you on the first problem, and then do the distributing or make a little box or whatever it is you want to do, or the quick way was to do the first thing squared, double the product, so negative 2 times y, in this case, double is negative 4, and then you do the last term squared. And that went all the way through to 7. Nothing changed here except for the later ones ended up having 2 letters on it. Still the same thing. 8, 9, and 10 was the different case called the conjugates, which says because these things are the same but opposite, the middle term cancels out as part of the answer. So you could skip to the answer faster by just doing the first times the first, b squared, and the second times the second, negative 36. That's only okay if they're conjugates. That is not okay in general. Whew, okay, I think that covers it. Hope you enjoyed this video and it helped you. I'll probably be making a new video about a review soon enough. Okay, bye.